Where did they go?
Hair check. Haley, hair check. New visual voicemail from Haley.
That's weird. Somebody's going to have to help me with mic position. What do I do with my hands? What do I do?
Will you look from the front?
Don't shoot, right?
Bra
Okay,
placement?
I got it. Debatable.
I want them here.
The arsonist had oddly shaped feet. Tits McGee. I know.
Oh.
I don't know how we're gonna write things. We live, bro?
Yeah, you can see it on the
I'm gonna act like I'm reading. And then
Testing.
live stream. Everything I'm saying is heard on a live stream.
Maurice, can
If
you
you-
hear me?
If
Testing,
you-
Sean.
If you are tuning in right now,
Testing, Sean.
are we legit
Testing.
are we legit
Hey,
live
Mr.
right now?
Dent, can we have a list of the names in order?
I don't
can't
want
really
to.
get
I don't
up
want to
now.
ask her. I don't want to ask her anything because she's
Hey,
very
Kirsten.
swamped. Yeah,
Could
we
you
got
give
a
us
mission
list
for
of
you.
the names and stuff from Miss Paul? Could you ask Miss Paul for a list of the names in order?
Poets and
You want me to
stuff.
ask?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
we can't
we
really.
can't get up
we're
now.
kind of hooked.
Are we live?
I think so.
I know. I'm just talking, seeing if someone over there will answer me.
Hey guys, can you hear us?
Nobody's wearing a headset over there anymore.
Hello, can you hear us?
Physically, you can hear us. Are we live?
Testing.
Like,
Testing.
even though we're getting ready to stream, are we
Is
still
this-
live? Like somebody could listen to it? Okay. See, I could say tits. We're fine.
Testing.
Okay, I don't know. Dent, I'm confused. Nobody's telling us the truth. Are we streaming right now? Like they could hear me.
Streaming a title right now.
Just
But
a
can
title,
they
but
hear
not
us?
the volume.
These mute mics.
So you can hear me.
It's like probably. You haven't said.
My name is Brayden.
My name is Abby.
We know you're tired of waiting.
You might be getting a little crabby.
No need to fear.
We're all excited the most.
The Poetry Slam is here
with both of us,
your fabulous hosts.
All right, so we have a couple rules to introduce. First, each poet prepared an original spoken word poem that is 3 minutes or less. And the poet may use a script, but it should not be read, it should be performed. Poets may perform individually, with a partner, or as a group of no more than 4. They may not use props, costumes, or musical instruments. And 5 judges will be randomly selected from the audience. Scores will range from 0 to 10, down to minus infinity. The high and low scores are dropped, and the middle 3 are added together. And the poet may not perform the same poem in the preliminary and the final round.
Okay, to make sure we get the best results, we're going to go over some rules for the judges. Judges are going to be randomly selected, and we really want to see differences in the scores, whether it be 8.3, 8.9, or etc. And we only want to see 10s if it absolutely blows you away, because even though we love everyone and we want to cheer for all the poets, not every poem should get a 10. So thank you. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then we want to cheer for all the poets too, and not just the scores, because everyone is awesome.
All right, and to kick this off, we do have a sacrificial poet, and we're going to introduce them right now.
Can we get a drum roll, please? First, we have Mrs. Grumman,
Mr. Moss,
Mrs. Tynan,
and Mr. Leday.
Does this work? Does this work? Okay, good.
I am worried about this generation. On the cusp of Generation Y, the millennials, and the Generation Z, Generation Selfie, I generation.
That's you. What do they say about your generation?
That's me. You have a short attention span, and you have poor work ethic.
6:30 a.m., alarm goes off. Rushing to get ready and out the door. Did I finish those chapters from Jane Eyre? Were they even due today? Did I upload my government assignment to the classroom? First hour bell rings, hour after hour. Notes, discussion, labs, engaged, and learning. Making music, building furniture, designing a 3D model, a robot, an experiment. Learning.
2:40. Bell rings. Off to work, off to practice, off to the game, meeting my club, changing. On to the next event. Musician, athlete, academic, worker, the planner, entrepreneur, thespian, debater, writer, the artist, programmer, creative mind. One, some, many, valuable.
5:30, leaving practice. 7, 8, 9, leaving game or meet. 10, leaving work. Grab my food and time for homework. Logging on to make a plan. My lab write-up, my drawing, reading and responding, writing, reading, problem solving, math problems. How do I do that one again? 11, 12, 1. Head rests on the bed with my Jane Eyre book open. Drift off to sleep, contemplating the completion of chapter 30 before the eyes closed.
6:30 a.m. Alarm goes off.
Perhaps they don't really know you.
You, all of you, are self-centered, self-absorbed, and entitled. All of you.
Hundreds of meals packaged in a single evening. Interact to stop hunger now. Hundreds of dollars raised to provide food for families to St. Luke's, buying cappuccinos for a cause. Hundreds of cakes and cookies baked, a key to brighten a day. Sleeping in a box, raising money for the Shalom House, a collective effort. Adopting a tot so a child and family can enjoy the holiday celebrations.
Pallets of food and stacks of money for Johnson County Christmas Bureau, sharing our food with others. Student council leading by example. Bennyhoven, Marion Park, Shawnee Gardens, to name a few, reaching out to young and old alike. CCC, making our world a better place through their time and talents. NHS, Key Club, Interact Club, thousands of hours of service to our community, carved out of an already full schedule.
Perhaps they don't really know you.
You, all of you, are obsessed with your phones, yourselves, and you're addicted to technology. All of you.
Take a selfie, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. As Generation X logged on, you moved on. Cyberbullying, nasty grams, constant texting. Does anyone even remember how to have a face-to-face conversation? From the chaos and the madness, some have the courage to rebel, to stand up and take notice of the value of each individual in our world. Celebrating who you are, as you are, without your mask, without your makeup.
Be free to be you while the ripple grows into a wave of support so full and so strong that you are embraced, you are acknowledged, you matter. Free to take your face out of your phone, eat pancakes, and recognize the girl effect. That what we have and what we have been given is a privilege not available to all. The art of conversation is not lost, but found in the Socratic circle, the political debate, the lunchroom chats that do not fall flat upon the earbud. We hear you.
The technology in hand from birth is not a criticism to bear. Wear it with pride. Invent your reality, shape our world, take us along for the ride. As we learned with you this year in the classroom, in the library with our tech cadets, you gave our generation confidence to capture that screenshot, create that iMovie, and even tweet that selfie with the crowd.
Perhaps they don't really know you.
But we know
do.
you.
Let's give it up for the administrators. All right, judges' scores. 10, 7.5, 8, 8.2, and 10, and 8.9. All right.
Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with our first competitor who hopes to bring a simple poem about senior year called Senior Year 2015. So give it up for Chris Gomez.
Hey guys, how's it going? All right, so my name's Chris. Most of my friends know me as Gomez, and I'm just bringing a poem about senior year. So, many people say you do nothing, and that senior year is a joke. Let me tell you how true those words are. I passed all required classes so far, except for English. Other than that, it's pretty easy, and for once, I did my homework this morning. I'm pretty smart, and I usually come to the library before school, just to sleep. There were points where I just went home after a long day, and that part was usually 5th hour. No one wants to stay at school once they have to go to English. It's all fun and games till an essay is due, only for me to start and finish it the night before. A lot of times I pulled the we had a test card. I would know of a test coming up, study by not studying, and then when the day came, I would say, we have a test. Who even has time to study? I do, but my studying usually involves shows on Netflix and stuffing my face full of pizza. The only parts of the day I look forward to is going home. I especially like this because I get to go home and crash on my bed, only to wake up hours later realizing I procrastinated on homework due the next day that I was not even going to do anyway, so it's a win-win situation. Years prior, I would always ask myself, how will I finish my homework? Now I ask myself, how can I avoid my homework? Luckily, there's many ways to avoiding homework, and that's not to do it. Or I could just push it to the end of your desk and hope for the best. Or I could just throw it away, which saves all the time and effort in the world for even more procrastination. Why do something early when you can wait until the last possible second to finish it? Not only is senior year filled with procrastination, but it's also filled with spending time with friends. Just a little bit of time ago, some friends and I went to the mall. The funny thing about that is there were 6 of us and we were in a 5-seat car. We played nose goes to see who would sit in the trunk, and our friend Rowan lost and agreed to go into the trunk. Safe to say he was Snapchatting us in the middle of the ride, and it looked really suspicious taking him out of the trunk when we got there, in broad daylight. One time, a friend and I went to another friend's house, uninvited, just to take pizza. Driving 2+ miles only to get pizza from a friend's house. It was a pretty productive day. We got free pizza. One thing I realized not only as a senior, but as a high school student, is that there's a triangle of needs: good grades, enough sleep, and a social life. You can only pick two, and I've picked good grades and a social life. And let me just tell you, my sleep is lacking. Some of my teachers know me solely on the fact that I sleep in class. But throughout all the endeavors of senior year, I'll be the one to tell you that it's a complete joke, and you should have a lot of fun. Because senior year is a whole school year full of shenanigans, friends, and having fun. One of the main things you should do during senior year is not do your homework. From my perspective, senior year is a lot better when you don't do your homework.
All right, nice job, Chris. Can we get the judges' scores? 8.5, 9.3, 8.6, 8.9, and 9.4. Nice. And next up is junior Allyson Bunyar, who her poem was inspired by all her friends who have helped her through the years, and it is called The Bandwagon.
Hi, guys. This poem kind of touches in a lot of different areas, so I think there's something for everyone. Sometimes life smacks you in the face. One day you're following fads, the next day you're going mad, and the day after that you are finally glad. Glad you are alive, glad you didn't let the razor slit your thighs, and glad you weren't forced to bring any more tears out of your eyes or hear the cries of your loved ones. Because hearing those cries is as much torture as hearing more and more lies. Watching your grandmother die slowly into the darkest night you have ever seen, making it her darkest hour, pun intended. It is recommended that we fight the tears, and I have fended off all my fears just to be able to say that I have made it this far. I have made it past the monsters under my bed, past the voices in my head, past the fire-breathing dragon outside my castle. If I had a skull that was actually capable of containing all the thoughts and memories my brain has retained, I would be one step closer to being like everyone else. And I guess that would be jumping on the bandwagon, right? But I don't want to jump. I'm sick of jumping. I want to run and feel the wind pull the hair back from my face, feel the liquid courage we call adrenaline course freely through my veins, and leap off the bandwagon defined by masks and the stress of all the tasks we feel like we're required to do because it would please everyone else. The bandwagon we know as society. And maybe I'm not good enough, but I try to be, and who doesn't? I try to see that what you get is all you're going to get, because if you want something done, you got to do it yourself, and I thank Disney every day for teaching me that. Yes, under the sea are not Sebastian's only famous words, at least not to me. I still believe that the saying what you see is what you get is just some lie people tell you so that you don't get your hopes up or expect something out of nothing. But what's so great about nothing is that you have everything the world gave you to change that nothing into something beautiful, because that is what the world has done with you. We are all beautiful, and I don't need my mama to tell me that to know that it's true. I don't need grams of an overrated plant that I certainly will never understand its worth to know that we are the best of our generation's youth. We don't need the bandwagon. We don't need cars branded with a stallion. We need to see our dreams come true, someone to show us what to do with our lives so that we don't strive for perfection, because nobody's perfect. And you may hate Hannah Montana, but hate is a strong word, and those words she wrote are still true. More true than what your parents told you when you were 2. Maybe I'm the only one who finds it scary how much time they have had to change and how much they did change, but glad that their change made them strange in a good way. 'Cause who I am hates who I've been. Who I am hates who I've been. And who I've been wanted a chance to start over again. Well, let me tell you, she got it. Thank you.
Good job, Allyson. Can we get the judges' scores, please? 9.9, 9.8, 10, 9.3, and 9.1.
All right, next we have a senior who hopes to bring up a poem about mental illness and how it is something we should never give up on. Please welcome to the stage, Parker Kaleko.
So, I've always been a fan of short stories like The Sidewalk Ends, so don't expect a long, drawn-out poem from me. A life with Asperger's is really quite difficult. When someone talks to me, I feel like I'm on stilts. I try to make it, barely, but sometimes I just can't seem to make it possible. But even so, my spirit never dies, because I have a newfound respect for other lives. And now that I've learned to live with it, I'm truly glad I was born with Asperger's.
Awesome job, Parker. Can we please get judges' scores? We have a 9.3, a 9, a 9.0, 8.4, and 8.9.
All right, our next poet is freshman Payton Bennett, who wrote this for her daughter, and the title of the poem is called For My Daughter.
Just to be clear, this is future daughter. Okay. Love. It'll hurt like a tattoo gun sting as the ink pervades your skin. Your first love will be like a scar in your heart, buried deep, a constant reminder of the blessings he brought you, along with the pain he caused. Be with a person who fills you with fluttering hummingbirds, even after your first, fourth, and 100th kiss, who drinks the ambrosia of your demons and sucks them lifeless. Someone who is good, so astonishingly good, who makes promises he keeps and treats my little girl like a real man should. There will be men who you think will carry you forever, but after an enduring amount of holding your feet above the water to keep you from suffocating under its great pressure, they will throw you down, will not reach out a hand to pick you up. They will turn their cheeks, leaving yours kissless and forgotten, as you stand back with dirty palms and fall back into his hellfire. There will be loves like this who will convince you to puncture yourself with safety pins, ones who carry guns on their back only to protect, who don't fire to protect, only to agonize, the ones who drink all the water, leaving you parched in the desert of his mistakes, the ones who ignite arrows into your lungs, leaving you bleeding, lying there on the ground, believing that the color of your blood is true love for him, as the hour hand spins around the clock too many times before you leave him. Love, it will hurt, especially when you thought it was true, but after the fatality of it, you will realize you deserve someone much more sweet than a lemon's amyloidal zest. Love the one who doesn't cheat you blind. Instead, love the one who comes to you with truths retched in his palms, who waits for you to forgive and never gives up, never stops wishing that the basket backpedal, that he could change the wrong he did to you. Love the one who warm apple pie, who will cry in front of your children, drive them to school, wait for them at the door, and hug them when they get home. Be with someone who doesn't ask for you to change, instead loves your mistakes, cradles them in within his fabric lungs, and insufflates them in with a grin. Love. It's an interesting thing, as you will be thrown out of a moving car to the side of the road. Some will come running back to you, but don't jump in that front seat. Just run and run and run until you find someone who buckles that seatbelt for you, drives 5 under the limit, takes things slowly, and waits to accelerate until you're prepared. Baby girl, I am here for you. Remember me, the one who loved you first, the one who will never stop loving you. Come to me when he bulldozes your heart into ruins. You can cry on my shoulder as I wipe your tears with my sleeve. Baby girl, find a love who loves you the way that your father and I love you, the way that your grandmother loves you. Find a love who already considers you family, who meets you, glances into your ocean eyes, and drowns peacefully into your heart.
Hey, awesome job, Payton. And can we get judges' scores, please? All right, we have 10 with a heart, 9.7, 9.9, 8, 9.0.
Next, we have a junior reading a poem inspired by his girlfriend called Rise and Rebuild. Please welcome Luke Megli.
Hello? Whoa, that's weird. Okay, sorry, I have it on my phone. But, okay. Eyes open for the first time since they left you there for dead. You try to touch, to feel, reaching for something that is real. But all you find, all you hear, all you know are the infinite voices echoing in your head. But like a whisper in the night, you hear, rise, rise from your ashes. Rebuild, rebuild. It's not too late to rebuild. I know the end wasn't how you planned it, but hold on. For springtime always follows the harshest of winters, and the sunrise always defeats the blackest of nights. Heart open for the first time since you held it and locked it back, afraid to let it grow and grow and grab hold. But that was then, and this is now. But today is the day you look into her eyes and realize for the first time in a long time that you're not alone, and you've never been. Seasons change, reasons change. The years go by without asking why. Some people stay while others fade away, but I'm pretty sure you already knew that anyway. Spring and summer, fall and winter, then start over again. All the different seasons in my life brought me here to this moment now. I've seen and I've survived the harshest winters and the darkest nights. But today is the day I say you can make it. Just hold on, it's not too late to rise. Rise from your ashes and rebuild.
Thank you so much, Luke. Can we please get judges' scores? We have a 9, an 8.8, 8.7, 8.5, and one more somewhere. Anywhere. Anywhere. One more score. Someone, anywhere. I see a 10. I see a 10.
All right, next up we have a freshman who started writing poetry as a way to express herself after her mom passed in August, and this is inspired by her parents. Please welcome Madelyn St. Clair performing E.
Empty. That's what you are when you lose people. The ones who are always there, the one who gave unconditional love like none other. So there I was, empty. Without my mom, without my dad, with excruciating pain for days and emergency SOSs when I erupted into a million pieces. 2:37 p.m., August 19th, 2014. My world fell apart. But I survived and I wrote, believing that tomorrow would be better. Flash forward 121 days, there I lay once again, my hand clasped around his, whispering the same words I said 4 months prior. You can let go. So I wrote again. I couldn't make sense of it all, though it seemed like an eternity, repeating the same phrases over and over. Why me? What did I do wrong? Can you talk? So I wrote, and I thought until I could barely go on. It was always my right hand, the one that goes on for hours and hours, trembling with anxiety, the one that held my mother's hand. It was the one that wrote these eulogies, making this year the year of eulogies. Truthfully, they went hand in hand, right hand and left hand, partners in crime. It was sad, beautiful, tragic. 3 words to describe one year. I gave a speech to a crowd, I said some things I had to say, and I tried to show my love through words. A eulogy, an empathy, something I've gotten a lot of this year. For eulogies and empathy work together in my parents' year, my beloved and greatly missed parents' year. I want to stay clear of another year of eulogies. 2014, my eulogy to eulogies. My eulogy to funerals and empathy. My eulogy to the sad, grieving person that was me. And my shout into the void of saying cancer sucks. But they are a hidden blessing. They helped me become me. I let go of the perfect, straight-A person I was and embraced the person I am. My right-sided brain, my flaws and imperfections, and my enlightened self. Yes, I may still be an enigma no one can solve. One big jumbled-up puzzle. But I'm me, perfectly and wonderfully made through the eyes of God. And it all comes back around to one of the 26 letters that made up this poem. O-E. Thank you for giving me empty feelings, enlightenment of finding the enigma in myself, emergency SOSs when my emotions erupted, excruciating pain and gaining empathy, and most of all, these words, my eulogies, for they made me, me.
Thank you so much, Madelyn. Can we get judges' scores, please? 10, 10, 10, 9.9, and is that it? And a 10. Thank you, Madelyn.
Next, we have a senior who will be reading a poem inspired by their brother, who is an amazing writer. Please welcome to the stage, Emily Parker.
You're forced into this world to be things that you're not. Thrown out on your own when you don't have a shot. Fighting what seems like a never-ending war. This life can make anyone feel so sore. Society has its ideals, and you're insane to think anyone can keep it real. You don't get to be who you want to be. It's a joke to say that you are free. It's every man for himself, so go ahead and fight this constant hell. Good luck in your life. You're on your own to deal with your strife. Too many people take the easy way out. No one cares because who's to say they'd ever amount? Everyone in this world wants some form of respect, but let's just ignore all of the rejects. Society can make you feel so illegitimate, but maybe I'm just the hypocrite. Society is so judgmental. They're the ones who are detrimental. God, isn't society beautiful with all of these actions so inexcusable? Society has its vision, and you don't get a decision.
Awesome job, Emily. Can we please get judges' scores? We have a 9.8, a 9.9, an 8. We have an 8.7 and a 9.6. Thank you. And that concludes the end of round one. So, round of applause for everyone. And here in just a minute, we're going to go ahead and get started with round two. But first, we have some time for jokes. But over the last couple of days, I've been thinking, I'm going to tell a joke, and it's not going to be funny, and I'm going to be up here laughing at myself. So even if I'm awkward or We just want to do a quick reminder before we get started about scoring. Please listen to the poets, and we love everyone, but we want to see differences in scores. Only give a 10 if it absolutely blows you away. With that, we will go ahead and get started. Our next poet is a junior, Mady Schmidt, and wants everyone in the audience to know that she is 100% single.
You're standing there again, in front of what has seemingly turned out to be your arch nemesis, the school bathrooms. Right in the middle, glancing back and forth, trying to decide which poison to pick. On this side, you get the fast pass, social conformity and limited weird looks, but you get a feeling of wrongness inside yourself. On the other side, you get the rougher road. Maximum weird looks, possibly lots of trouble and yelling, but you would feel better than if you would have gone in the other door, at least for today. Neither of them seemed to feel quite right, though, so you decide to just conform and move quickly, like always, to avoid certain confrontation. God, you hated this. You walk through the hallway and you try not to think about it, but you just can't help but wonder, what do all these people see you as? A boy, a girl, some sort of freak? Do you even care what they think? Not really. Or at least that's what you always told yourself. And what do you even want them to see you as? Just a person. Why did they feel the need to gender you? Why couldn't you just be a person? Now you're back in your class, talking to your friends, everything feels fine again, but then your teacher says, all right, boys and girls, and once again you feel alienated because you don't fit in either box. When they ask, check here if you're a boy, check here if you're a girl, you don't fit in either box. You are not a box. A lot of your friends are in similar situations, so they respect you and use the pronouns you ask. Your peers call you she. It's kind of a don't ask, don't tell thing with your gender. You're comfortable in your own identity, not ashamed or afraid. You just don't want to have to explain yourself all the time and deal with the questions of ignorant or hateful minds. Even some people within your own outcasted community say that you should just pick one and stop trying to be special, but you're not trying to be special, you're just being yourself. If they can be them, why can't you be you? Your mom doesn't know you at all. You fear that she would hate everything about you. But she reminds you day after day of what you aren't. You're a girl, you're supposed to want to wear skirts and dresses every day. You're a girl, you're supposed to shave your legs. You're a girl, why would you want to dress like a boy? You're a girl, why don't you act like one? But you are not a girl, and you are not a box.
Fantastic message from Mady Schmidt. Can we please get scores? We have a 9.5, a 9.797, a 9.3, a 9.4, and a 9.
And next up, we have junior Joel Fry. He is in the slam because he has mad flow and sick rhymes, and he is inspired by Extra Credit and Tupac.
All right. Hello, people. All right. I need a breather for a minute. All right. Thinking is key in true education, but why is this system teaching you solely to retain information? Corrupt politicians and men out of work, people dying overseas, children crying while they bleed. How could this be? The most self-proclaimed sophisticated nation at hand, but we're 36 in mathematics. No finance or resource to provide schools a new lesson plan. Politics is a religion, as well as its correctness, no longer about a nation or its inhabitants, but if you invest, how much money can you have in this? Youth being misled by what's on TV, presenting to your mind how you should be, consumed by and die. I'm not a fool, so I know there's more to life than this mystery before your eyes. And when I say these words, don't take them lightly, because there's some true misguidance coming from ABC Nightly. A nation full of soldier toys, fueling corporate wars. But as a great man once said, I won't trade my humanity for patriotism, so am I a diss to the American way, a realism of what way I should face and the adversity in of which I graze? I'm not the majority, I'm actually in opposition, hoping to... I'm society's arch nemesis, hoping to convince his people to hear me out, give me a listen. But you see, we may have differing views, and that's all good and plenty, because the goal of this poem is to simply make you think. It's kind of sad, it's kind of funny. There's a wise man speaking, but we're the youth, so we don't listen. All we thinking about is partying and drinking, wondering how and in what manner we can all feel a little twisted. It's time to wake up, discover the potential we store. Time to change the world, open up the mind's closed door. And judge me if you will for these words that I say, but just remember, 10 years from now, you probably won't remember my name. Peace, love, empathy, and humanistic morality. My name is P-O-P-P-Y, capital J, and I'm outie.
All right, awesome job, Joel. Can we have the judges' scores, please? 9.33, 9.4, 10, 8, and 8.9.
Next, we have a junior, Sarah Keegan, who hopes to bring her smile to the stage with her poem, Love Letter.
Hi, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to start. Since pre-K, it's been engraved in my brain that it's not polite to stare. But to be honest, I find myself passing time, people watching. The other day, I picked up a prescription, seeing the world through a different lens. I'm finding beauty in the gray skies, lightning strikes and crows flying by. I pulled out a dictionary, page 1496, for the origin of the word positivity. Truth be told, it's a work in progress, so I picked up the broken glass, caught sight of a face from the past, and thought to myself, wow, when did I become so judgmental of myself, of others, just an introvert trying to convert? So here goes. My love letter to all of you. Not a message out of love, but a message about spreading love. I don't mean to pry, but I think there's a story here, starting with intentions and ending with redemption. If curiosity killed the cat, then maybe they should work on a little thing called natural selection. Check MapQuest. Inquisitiveness doesn't have a direct route to insulting opinions. And I'm not playing the saint. Sometimes my sarcasm comes off as just plain rude, but if there's one thing I'm serious about, it's getting the full story. Not stories regarding looks and assumptions, whether I could care less or couldn't care less. All I'm saying is less with the hearsay. Listen to what I'm trying to say. Look for the story with a backbone, a heartbeat, and a mind. For there once was a girl with storm clouds in her eyes, waiting for somebody to fly by and take the time to find the silver lining in the gray skies before lightning strikes her own demise. Since pre-K, it's been engraved in my brain that it's not polite to stare. Back then, we sought out morality in cartoons like Bambi, because if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Back then, our staring was out of innocence, but now it's out of arrogance. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty tired of people watching. Hi, my name's Sarah Keegan. What's yours?
Nice job, Sarah. Can we please get judges' scores? We have a 9.9, a 9.5, a 9.6, an 8.7, and a 9.9.
All right, next up we have junior Cody Postle. His poem is called Hunter's Lightning, and he says, be ready to get your mind made weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you on a trip called Hunter's Lightning. Do you hear the sound of music embellished and fried for none? For all of that which stands before exists within a dream. Hunter's Lightning make you guide it, wishing wells. We hope you'll find it, wondering ways to know consent, and the people they come without lament. Maybe she lives inside a hotel, maybe she lives inside a dream, maybe she lives to wait for music, and maybe she lives to wait a day. Maybe she cries awake in household sun to make clouds your high, blasting, blazing, make you crazy, finish in fraud, a field where they lay. Hunter's lambing, change my mindscape, blast her thoughts, her hopes, her feelings, too late! Wonder and a mystery and make you madmen, pillows and forts erase your hasty feelings of frightened and ghost dance blues, awake and whole. Fake a frenzy and make you mind a loving flicks in a way they'll buy it. Do you know the way to glory? Do you now? Sense the summer wind and hide the light at the end of this tunnel so dear it's almost here and all make clear. Whisper alone to make my muse. Enshadowed in a doubt of forceful dumbfound. Do you know the way to change it yet? Maybe. Mind the lightning high and ride it to worship a masterful bloodhound, savage in season, awake, and you don't know why. It's too late to change it, so goodbye to thine.
Nice job, Cody. And can we get the judges' scores? 8.7, 8.9, 8.2, 9.2, and 8.4.
And before we move on, we want to thank Amy Justice for making these awesome Poetry Slam t-shirts. So everyone give her a round of applause.
Go PTSA!
I don't have it on the top of my head. That's not a lot.
No time for jokes.
With our next poet, we have a senior and Bister with a poem called Remember.
Do you remember the days when there is no hatred? Do you remember the days when there is no war? Do you remember the days when everyone died alone? Do you remember? Do you remember when no one went hungry? Do you remember when no one went homeless? Do you remember the days when no one was sick? Do you remember? Because I don't. For several decades now, this is all the world has known. There has been hatred. There has been war. Not everyone gets along. People are going hungry. People are homeless. People are sick. People are dying. You may think to yourself, why is she telling us all this? There is nothing we can do about this, but there is. You can start by helping others. It's such a small deed, but in turn creates a cycle of happiness because helping someone has the biggest impact on this world. And if you help someone, that someone will in turn help another person, and it will lead to a domino effect. If everyone just took the time to help someone, it could possibly change the world for the better. We all need to start living up to the saying, treat others the way you want to be treated, because right now our world is a disaster waiting to happen, and it's about time we fix it.
Wonderful job, and can we please get the scores? We have an 8.5, an 8.8, an 8.78, a 9, and an 8.4.
All right, our next poet is Junior Nathan Jones, aka Bones Jones. And he started writing poetry at 3 a.m. with Sam Gross. And he's looking to bring some fun and energy to the stage.
Oh, that's hello, hello. Oh, hi. I like you. Cool. So, all right. Well, real quick, this is basically for anyone who's ever felt alone in a crowded room, especially on the weekends. So, this is for you. Every weekend, I sat in a basement on a couch that smells of adolescence and Axe body spray with a girl I don't know very well. You see, she changes face every weekend. Her voice deepens and lightens as the weeks mature, and so does she. I've only come to know her on these weekends and over text. And I am much like an hourglass. I have drained the best parts of myself into her, my better half, only to find time slipping through my fingers until there is nothing left. It is all you that is left. Pictures on Instagram with witty captions are the only pictures that we really ever took together because the flash only went off when you and I seemed perfect. I just wanted to hear your favorite color, or to know if you thought Drake and Josh was as good as I did, or to tell you that sometimes I think nothing in this world is worth it. And then I remember you. The only problem is we never did much talking. Emojis were usually the only emotions we would show until we ended up on that couch again. That couch was my church, my confessional, my holy place where the Holy Spirit took over and we only spoke in tongues. It's where calm met storm and then without warning fell in love with her and then realized he was far from calm. So what was he getting into? So he psyched himself out and then he psyched himself up again only to find himself winding up on that couch again. That couch is where he left his confidence. It is where the life raft took on the tsunami and got lost. It is not difficult to describe at all. Loneliness isn't being alone on a life raft in a sea of love. It is being the sea of love and trying to find that damn near perfect person stranded amongst your waters. So instead, you tsunami yourself, picking up shorelines, hoping to find something within yourself, but all that is left is the debris. These shipwrecked promises and my sunken sorrows. That couch is where I fell in love with you. And that life raft is where I decided I was not going to be lonely anymore. I believe that if you speak love into the wind, it will be carried to someone who needs it even across oceans. Maybe I need you. And just maybe you need me. And if you ever happen to be stranded amongst rougher seas and feel godlessly, utterly alone, know that my eyes and these arms are always a place that you can call home. Thank you.
Awesome job, Nate. Can we have the judges' scores, please? 9.9, 9.8, 9.98, 10, and a 9.5.
Next, we have junior Jay Haskell, who hopes to bring passion to the stage with her poem, Reflection.
Like he said, my poem is titled Reflection. When will the day arrive of no longer having to suffer from the pain? God says that he would never put us through more than we can bear. When I'm hurt and I'm down, I keep in my mind that God reigns. Even though all of that, the bruises and sores are just unbearable. This doesn't seem like the meaning of life. Where did it all go wrong? Something inside of me makes me want to hang on. I just don't know for how long. My reflection in shadows welcome back the old light. One that matches my own seems to wait in the night. The bruises are makes of a nightmare that comes true each night. Every touch is a switch that triggers an old memory. A personal home theater of years past, many showing reruns of memories I wish I'd long forgotten. Then there's you, the only one who could protect me through it all. You gave me the sense that I am beautiful. My big brother you are, but with you deceased, I just seem to long for you now longer than ever. Oh, won't you stay with me? I know that God made you my guardian angel, and that's why I'm more clever than ever. Back to the man who's done all he could to make my childhood miserable. You say you're sorry, but why should I believe? I always thought, how many bruises and beatings before I should leave? There was one thing that was worse than the bruises and beatings, taking away my virginity while I'm sitting in the corner thinking, please, God, why is my life sinking? It's all behind me now. I'm doing well, and I'm definitely succeeding. Those memories doesn't bother me now. Whatever life wants to throw at me, I'm going to tackle it no matter how hard it'll be. You know why? Because this is my reflection.
Awesome job, Jaya. Can we please get the scores? We have a 9.5, a 9.8, a 9.7, and a 9.7, and a 9.3. That is the end of round 2. Can we get a round of applause for everyone? Okay. Before we move on to round 3, Abby and I have a little performance for you. And once you catch on what's happening, we would love it if you would stand up and join us. Thank you.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So you just go.
You ready?
Yeah.
And we gotta do the hand thing. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. Is everyone ready?
Woo! Okay. Yes, stand. If everyone, wait, should we just?
far, and we want to see 10s only if it absolutely blows you away.
The point's not the point. The point is... There we go.
All right, our first competitor in round 3 is a senior who hopes to bring a surprise to the stage with her poem, Doll Boy, Mary Claire Golubski.
I hope you're ready. If in the middle of the night aliens or God or whatever you do or don't believe in broke through your window, tiptoed to your bed, and changed you from male to female or from female to male, would you wake up and live your life as the opposite sex? People say if you have one set of parts, that's what you are. So boys, what if one day you woke up and you were a girl? Would you paint over the blue in your room? Would you toss out all of your size 36 jeans? Would you pitch those Nikes? Would you give up your dreams of playing major leagues? Would you? Would you be tired of me stereotyping? Girls, if you were turned into a boy, would you get rid of your rings, your necklaces? Would you suddenly stop loving everything that society deems as girly? Tell me, if you woke up with breasts strapped to your chest, what would you do? Would you be okay with being a girl? Would your friends treat you the same? Would you be able to handle being a girl day after day? Or would you still love blue just as much as you did before? Would you still have jeans? Would you still have baseball? Would you still dream of playing in the major leagues? Would you still be a boy on the inside? In your head and your heart, tell me, would breasts change you? Would they make you female? Would they void everything you've grown as? Would you try to be a girl? Because as they say, it's your bits that dictate whether you are a guy or a gal. So if you woke up and had lady parts, would your mind change? Or would you still be the same you, a boy? Gender is within and not within any sort of tangible organ. Gender is within your head and your heart. If you woke up and your breasts were gone, if you woke up different, would you conform? Would you change your name? Would you change your life, your friends, your heart, your mind? Or would you stay the same? On the inside, would you still be a girl? Gender is within and not within any sort of tangible organ. Gender is within your brain and your heart, and it's certainly not held within your naughty parts, nor the clothes you wear, or the length of your hair. I like dresses and skirts, but wearing pants does not make a girl a boy, so wearing skirts does not make a boy a girl. Gender is on the inside. So me having breasts and me having lady parts plays no part in the fact that I am a boy. On the inside, I'm a boy. I like dresses and skirts and I'm a boy. Gender's on the inside, I'm a boy. My name is not Mary Claire. I am not a girl. I am not a she. I am a he. I'd rather be prom king, not queen. I am Micah. My name is Micah, and I am myself, and no skirt and no wig can make me a girl. I am a boy.
Thank you, Mary Claire, for that awesome poem. Can we please get judges' scores? We have a 9.7, a 9.9, a 9, a 9.7, and a 9.8.
All right, and next up we have junior Emilee Lindsay performing her poem, Letters to the Powers.
Okay. Stage right, here we go. Okay. Dear life, I know you will never be easy, and I know that perfection is far from your nature, and most of all, I know my path with you will be anything but easy, but I know you'll be worth it in the end. My lady, I will walk beside you, learning from the paths you choose until the moment my legs give out, you are forced to leave me behind, for you stop. For no man, yet honestly, I am sorry for you. You were forced to leave so many good friends behind, but maybe we will meet again. Dear death, you are inevitable, but yet many run from you. I am sure you often feel all alone, but my Lord, need I remind you that some run to you with arms wide open, saying, please, take me away from this place. Does taking an innocent soul from this world, no matter how broken, feel any better than solitude? I won't run to you, but I won't run from you, but I also won't run to you. When our time comes to me, I will greet you as a good friend, as a lover, as someone I have not seen for ages and have been waiting for. I know this meeting will come, but maybe we have met before. Dear love, you span both your siblings, both life and death, and you sometimes tie two people together so tightly with your little red cord that even one lifetime, 2 lifetimes, 10 lifetimes later, they can still look at one another being strangers in that lifetime and feel that small tug of comforting familiarity. Yes, sometimes no matter how loud you shout that they are meant to be, they will be deaf to you. They will turn away, never again to see the person they once called by your name. I'm not sure if we've met before. I've passed you, not recognizing your beautiful eyes, or if our meeting is yet or never to come. My liege, I pray it does come or comes again. Dear somebody, I have begun to learn my lessons. I intend to enjoy life's company to the fullest and will wait to commune with death. I will embrace love when they come to me. Without judgment, I'll merely open my arms and welcome love as if they were always a part of me, as if you, whoever you are, were always a part of me. I will say, thank you for finding me. You are special beyond belief, and I hope that spark you hold never fades. So please, take a seat, let your wandering feet rest, and make yourself at home in my life. And if love must take their leave and leave us a mere pair in space, I'll remind you one last time that you are and always will be cared for. So please, dear one, don't do anything rash. Don't run to death or from his twin sister life. But most of all, if love doesn't stay with us, find someone it will stay with forever, because that will make both life and death seem meaningless. That will make days fade into years, and that, beautiful one, is what makes our existence worthwhile.
Awesome poem by Emilee. Can we get the judges' scores, please? 8.9, 9.5, 8.3, 8, and 9.
Next up, we have our very first group poem of the competition with Danny Louvau and Kyler Akagi, who hope to bring words and poetry to the stage with their poem, The Best of Shawnee Mission Northwest.
I can't believe you signed up to do this with me.
I can't believe you don't trust we. I saw what you had written, with which I was not smitten, so it changed your poem at the last minute.
Wait, what?
That's right, and we're going right now. The Best of Shawnee Mission Northwest, and at the end we take a bow.
You diva.
You're starting us off with number 4, Northwest School Lunch.
What am I supposed to read this off of?
Check your back pocket.
How and when did you do this?
Just read it.
Number 4, Northwest School Lunch. Goodbye, Otis. Goodbye, Bosco. Hello, veggies and Tabasco. I was happily obese. Every lunch was a feast. But then a new first lady took power. Because of Michelle, I can't ever find flour.
Pretty good, right?
A, that doesn't describe me. B, you only listed negative things. And C, you're mad at someone who's trying to make you healthier.
I didn't even get a chance to vote.
We weren't eligible.
Number 3, Blue Coat. Roses are red, violets are blue, Blue Coat sucks.
And?
Number 2, IB and AP.
Didn't respond to my last statement.
2 stable programs in Northwest that contribute to making it the best. International Baccalaureate, an education offers a global view. You can obtain a certificate that offers honor or the prestigious diploma that is earned by few. Yes, it takes blood, sweat, and tears to be an IB, but if you're not cut out for it, you might want to try AP.
Mean.
Advanced placement. Study all year, or else you'll shed tears. Spend a day at a class not playing hooky but taking a test. And remember, if you don't do your best, you failed your quest.
Too wordy.
A test for sweet college credit. And don't you dare fail. Yes, it takes blood, sweat, and tears to be an AP. If you're not cut out for it, you might want to try IB.
You two-faced diva.
And I'll leave the best about Northwest to you, my humble desperado.
Number 1, laptops. We didn't ask for them. We didn't want them. We didn't start the fire.
Keep going.
Oh, you laptops, how you raised my ire. E-blasted foul things, return from whence you came, and we shall forever curse your name. You were purchased in hopes of making students more productive, yet our productivity has only been obstructed. It's all Apple's grand plan, the destruction of man. We will become dependent on these thin devices and will be unable to respond to the machine-created crisis. The machines will win, and remember this day when Kyler, Valerie, Akagi told you to fight the machine overlords and disobey?
Toda.
What was that?
We're all thinking it.
We're all thinking that Apple laptops are going to rule the world, and besides that, you only listed twisted negative things about Northwest. You didn't mention our sports teams, our classmates, or our school spirit. Without that, how could we possibly be the best? You especially didn't mention our dedicated staff, the teachers, administrators, and more. The first ones in and last out the door, the ones who teach, coach, and care for us, the ones who let us do the slam. No, without mentioning our teachers, your list is a sham.
Yeah. That was Quite the diatribe, Kyler. I just wanted to write a satire about a beloved school.
I'm sorry, man. Come on. That satire is pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. And what are you doing with your back still straight? Take a bow just like you said we would.
Thank you, Danny and Kyler, for some wonderful humor. Can we please get judges' scores? We have a 9.9, a 9.7, a 9.7, a 9.6, and a 10.
All right, next up we have a junior who is inspired by her journey, and her poem is called Insomnia. Please welcome to the stage Mary Harzman.
I ain't never gonna stop loving you. I can no longer fall asleep to the sound of my own heartbeat, because it's no longer simply the sound of my own heartbeat. It's accompanied by thoughts of you and thoughts of us and thoughts of then and thoughts of now. Used to complain on and on about how I had to fall asleep with the TV on. Didn't have the heart to tell you it was your fault, but it would keep you awake longer. From the first time. But we were on our second time, and then we had a third time. Those nights I would lay in bed staring at the wall, haunted by my thoughts of you, thoughts of us, and thoughts of then and thoughts of now. She loved someone else more. No, there's no one else. She just never loved you. Stop. She found someone better than you. Stop, just leave me alone. If what you had was real, she wouldn't be doing this to you. Fine, I give up. 3 Benadryl, 2 hours and 1 movie later, and still no sleep. So I turned on the TV to realize that was my only escape. When we were, time number 3, I still had to fall asleep with the TV on. She doesn't love you like you love her. Stop. Yes, she does. She's gonna leave you. No, she loves me. 5 Benadryl, 4 hours, 3 loads of laundry, 2 movies, and 1 cup of tea later, and still no sleep. Laying right next to you, I'd have to focus on the laugh track of Family Guy to fall asleep. You did it once before. Why wouldn't you do it again? I won't go back to her after what she said to me. You did it twice before. Why wouldn't you do it again? Each time I would get more and more anxious. I won't go back to her after she treated me in the end. You did it 3 times. Why wouldn't you do it again? But I will not go back. 7 Benadryl, 6 episodes of Family Guy, 5 baskets of clothes folded, 4 episodes of CSI, 3 hours, 2 more loads of laundry, 1 shower later, and still no sleep. But something has to be my fault. Why me? Why does she keep doing this to me? My only conclusion that makes any sense, she stopped loving me the first time and didn't ever want to commit the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th time. She was just toying with me. So there it is, I finally wrote about it. I finally got it out. Now when do I start feeling better? But wait, there's one more thing. She's just crazy.
Nice job, Mary. Can we get the judges' scores, please? 9.7, 9.9, 8.9, 9.4, and another 9.4.
Next up, we have a senior, Brandon Gomer, with his poem, Rejected.
All right, this is Rejected. The phone begins ringing, and I can't believe the feeling. I've been waiting for this day, this call, for years. Now that it is here, oh, the fear, I am scared. I have a bad feeling the butterfly's alive. Can't hang up now with Coach saying hello. Oh no, he has to go, but wait. I need to tell you that I want to play. I want to chant, go Big Red. I want to play for you. I accept the offer to play, not today, but for the next 4 years. Then silence. My heart begins to pound as I sit down on the bed. Then comes a sound, one I don't want to hear. Well, I'm sorry to say that we took it away. There's no place for you here. You won't be a Husker. It's so hard to hear. You won't play for us, but good luck. And I am crushed and rejected. Not the first time, but the worst time. Rejected again. I sit in humiliation and anger, tears coming to my eyes. Why hadn't I called sooner? But then I remember, God is my number one. No earthly rejection matters, as the Creator accepts me even in my tears and imperfection, for I am God's child and He will never reject me.
That was a great poem from Brandon. Can we please get the judges' scores? We have a 9, we have a 10, a 9.3, a 9.9, and a 9.2.
All right, and our next poet is junior Camryn McDonald, and she hopes to... She's going to hopefully bring poetry to the stage, and her poem is called Hurricane.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. I am a hurricane. They call it a destructive natural weather occurrence, and they name it after people. This one is Camryn. I didn't always used to be this way, but I find it interesting that it started this last fall. Back when my best friend and I thought we had it all, we got high off 2 boys whose sense of humor was stronger than their thigh muscles. We laid on rooftops and stargazed. There was daylight to run in and races to win. Life was easy. At least for a while. People changed and people left, but they had already made their mark. I started running in the rain so no one could see my tear stains, but they were there. Because you can't have a hurricane without precipitation. That winter I was in the deep end and memories were drowning me. See, I call myself sentimental, but really I'm just mental. I put good times up on a pedestal and worship them because, dear God, I wish things were as simple as back then. Back when I was 15, I fell in love with material things, clothing and shopping in places I'd never even been to. But 16, I fell in love with people and the memories connected to them. This was a problem. I knew it was stupid, but I couldn't let go. Moments were shards of glass I was hanging on too tight, knuckles white, and my hands were bleeding. All I was needing was a peace of mind, a sense of stability. They say it's always calm after the storm. But what happens if you are the storm? The hurricane wasn't slowing down. The world wouldn't stop spinning around. I was numb and making a mess of things. I was in a race with my thoughts, and they're faster than me, so I had no choice but to slow down. Slow down. Stop. The rain eventually became a mist this spring. At 15, I fell in love with things, and at 16, I fell in love with memories, but at 17, I fell in love with me. Not in a conceited way, but I realized I needed to fall for myself before I tripped over anyone else. I still hold on to memories too tight. Sometimes they get the best of me. And I know it's not the same as it used to be, but I'm a firm believer in someday. So until then, I'm making my way from cynical to positive. Here's the thing. I am a hurricane. Just like the weather forecasts, I'm unpredictable, but I guess I'm more interesting that way.
Great poem, Camryn. Can we get the judges' scores, please? 9.8, 9.9, 9.8, 10, and a 9.4.
Next up, we have a senior who was one of your wonderful MCs from last year's Poetry Slam. Give it up for Mitch Feyerherm.
Okay. Do you feel it? It rustles the leaves, moves across skin, all we perceive. Do you feel it? It sends young men to war, fathers to graves, down to our core. Do you feel it? It tickles that deep dissatisfaction, the loss of our sleep, the cost of inaction. Do you feel it? It brings couples together, babies to the world, change we can weather. Do you feel it? It poisons the well, beaches the whales, can't you tell? It lies in the struggle of the id and the ego, against the void that has no sense or credo. Nothing, yes nothing, nothing at all. Into nothing, yes nothing, we fall. But that nothing, that empty against we fight, and we fight to fill up that nothing with earthly delight. But nothing is powerful, nothing is strong, nothing existing is, nothing is large, not nothing existing, is rarely in charge. It's 6 small planets in our Goldilocks zone. Non-existence is common on what we call home. But we are all nothing for most of all time. Non-existence is common years ahead and behind. That nothing is scary, that nothing is real, but when nothing comes, nothing shall we feel. So for not nothing existing, we must become grateful. Rare, it is rare, for that I am thankful. But what am I really? A collection of cells, a bundle of fibers, a brain and a shell. The self is a struggle, the self is a key. Attachment to self leads to disharmony. To find enlightenment, to realize nothing is there, that is the key to peace, no matter where. To try to escape it is nothing but struggle. To live by this nothing, nothing can cause you such trouble. Not nothing but something is what we then juggle.
Can we please get the judges' scores? We have a 9.5, a 9.8, a 9.5, a 9.8, and a 9.4. So that is the end. 3. Please give a hand for everyone that performed.
Hello, and thanks for joining us at the 10th annual Shawnee Mission Northwest Poetry Slam. I'm Rachel Carter.
And I'm Riley Wood.
And we are here to talk about these poems that we've heard in the first 3 rounds today.
We've had 21 poets and a lot of subjects covered. And some sacrificial poets to start, too.
Yes, those were very funny. We had our administrators come out at the beginning and do some sacrificial poems because no one wants to go first, right? So they went out and did a poem about today's youth.
And, I mean, if you want to comment on theirs, I thought it seemed pretty well rehearsed for the amount of time they may have to prepare for something like this.
I agree with that.
They just want to get a message across that they understand us, and I thought they did that.
They're doing their best. Our first poet today, student poet that is, was Chris Gomez, and his poem was titled Senior Year 2015.
Now, he was relating senior year a lot to procrastination and how you shouldn't do your homework. Not a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, us both being seniors, we know how we procrastinate quite a bit. So very relatable and got a lot of laughs from the crowd. Next we had Allyson Bunyar, who had her poem The Bandwagon.
And that was definitely one that was more of what we've come to see in the last few years at the Slam. A more well-rounded, you break into a little bit of a song somewhere. You're very deep coming from within, and it's definitely not lighthearted, but powerful.
Yeah, very. And then we had Parker Kaleko, who discussed his Asperger's, and I thought that was just very brave of him to go up there and do that. He kept it short and sweet and did a great job. His delivery was great, so
yeah,
very proud of him. Then Payton Bennett wrote a poem called For My Daughter,
which is not, as she reiterated, a daughter that exists right now, but a daughter for the future. She is a freshman, and you rarely get freshmen sometimes in the Poetry Slam, but their numbers have increased more over the years as you hear more about it. Maybe a sibling went here or something.
Yes.
She did seem kind of nervous toward the beginning, but I think she kept it together.
Yeah, her delivery was great. I loved her poem. It was basically all about just how love hurts sometimes, and you kind of gotta protect yourself, but you also gotta be brave. So she did a great job performing that. Next, we had Luke Megli with a poem about his girlfriend called Rise and Rebel. He used a lot of metaphors in this.
Yeah, talking about the seasons changing and how moods and relationships may change over time, but there's still that person, and they're a constant in life.
There was a couple poems that had a lot of metaphors about weather and everything. One of the last ones with Camryn McDonald.
Hurricane, she called it.
Yeah, she talked about herself as a hurricane and just included different storms and rain and
seasons.
Yeah, and I like how that was kind of a constant theme throughout both of their poems. Then we had a very emotional poem by Madelyn St. Clair, and it was about both of her parents who recently passed away. And personally, I cried like a baby. It was a beautiful poem.
Very touching, and it's such a sad story. It takes a lot of bravery to get up and talk about things like that.
Mm-hmm.
She deserved all those 10s.
Yes, she did. Then we had Emily Parker, who had a poem with her brother being the inspiration. She had some great rhymes in there. Do you have anything about her?
I don't know, just one thing she said, I think it was her last line about how society has its own vision and you don't have decisions. She really wanted to voice her view that she doesn't believe you have much power to make your own decisions, whether or not you think you do.
Yeah, and there was a lot of poems about that, about how society is judgmental and things like that. And I think that's really relevant for teenagers and for people in high school. They know how that goes. So
Definitely.
then we started round 2 off with Mady Schmidt. Hers was also about that, about how society gives you 2 paths. You can either conform or you can take the road less traveled. And I think
And that one definitely, I mean, that focused more on gender and how there are only 2 paths rightfully for gender based on what people have always said, and how, you know, some people don't want to fit into those. They can be what they want, and they're allowed to have their own identity. They don't have to identify with one or the other.
Mary Claire Golubski also had her poem about that, about just gender identity and how you don't have to conform to one specific gender. You don't have to be part of the box, as they called it, how you check a box on a form saying if you're male or female. And I thought that was a really interesting metaphor that Mady used. Then Joel Fry came up.
Joel Fry had a very interesting poem. I mean, people around the school know him as Poppy J, as his rap persona, and he definitely took a rap-like presence onto the stage.
Yeah, I agree. He said the way he was introduced was by his mad flow and sick rhymes. And I think those were all true.
It held up. Definitely held up.
It was a lot about education and politics and youth, and also about society and just how it changes teens and things like that. So, very powerful message, but great delivery to make it really relatable.
It was good.
People now. Then Sarah Keegan had a poem called Love Letter.
Very fast relay of her words and on point with each of them. You could hear all of them. She got the point across, and it was very good.
Yeah.
It was a well-written and well-spoken poem.
Yeah, and it was a lot about just like improving people's positivity. She really wanted to inspire people, and I think she did just that. I thought it was a really great poem. Then Cody Postle had a poem called Hunter's Lightning.
And this was a really interesting poem. I don't know if he could even tell you what it stemmed from or what it was about, but he definitely accomplished his mission to take you somewhere and kind of blow your mind. He commanded the microphone and commanded everyone's attention, certainly.
His volume was was up and down, and he got the audience's attention that way, and I thought it was really good. Then we had Bister with her poem Remember. She used a lot of repetition in that, which I thought was good.
Yeah.
Also captured the audience's attention.
And that one was about how the world is kind of really hectic, and you need to remember, as in the title, that you can change things. You can help people. Anything that's wrong, you have the power to make it better.
Yeah. She really wanted to inspire people to go out and help, and because every little thing that they can do can change the world. So that was very good. Then we had Nate Jones, and I thought his poem was fantastic.
It definitely reminded me of guys of the past. He said he started writing with Sam Gross, and that's exactly what came to my mind when he started. Yes. It was good, and it centered around how he always felt alone, even though there was so many people around, and he's just on this couch every weekend with some person, and we don't know who it is. And
that was also part of the mystery. Everybody wants to know who the mystery girl was that he fell in love with on that couch. So maybe someday we'll find out in a future poem.
Follow-up poem, yes.
Then we had Jai Haskell with her poem Reflection.
Very emotional, and it was a reflection, it seemed, on past events in her life. And
yeah, and no one knew, I mean, from the beginning of her poem, you couldn't really figure out what it was specifically about, and then she brought up that it was about her brother who passed away, and that just got very emotional. And I loved how she broke into song. She sang, what was that song?
Stay With Me.
Stay With Me, and I thought that was It was beautiful. I love when people just like do it so unexpectedly. They just break up into song, and it was very good.
Then back into round 3, you already mentioned Mary Claire Golubski. And then after that, we had Emilee Lindsay.
Her poem was Letters to the Powers. And she said in her description that she uses her poetry to figure out where she stands on certain topics. And I feel like her theme throughout this poem was just that love makes everything worthwhile, and that's important for teens, I think, to understand that.
Definitely, and not a whole lot of things at this age are the end of the world, and whatever can get you through it is a good thing to have.
So she seemed a little nervous, but she did a great job of breathing and taking it slow, and did a great job. Then we had Danny Louvau and Kyler Akagi, who are seniors this year.
They had the best of Shawnee Mission Northwest, which is, they almost went up there and did a skit that rhymed as a poem. It was based off of the web series Jake and Amir, where two characters that differ a lot banter back and forth, and they executed it really well.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was really clever and unique, and that was the first duo we had, so that was really exciting. I don't know if there's any more coming up, but I love it when people do it as a group because you get so much banter back and forth.
Definitely.
And it's just a lot of fun to watch.
And that got a lot of laughs. They were very good with all of their jokes and their timing.
Oh yes, I loved the part about the lunchroom and the new rules set in place by Michelle Obama. They're all very relatable, and basically what everyone here at Northwest has been feeling this year. Then we had Mary Harzman with her poem Insomnia.
Right, and that's, just about insomnia and how she can't get to sleep. And it tied in a relationship with someone else who people would, she said, say didn't love her like she did, and it seemed very sad. And
yeah, she was very emotional, and I think that showed through her voice and through her action. She did a lot of hand motions that really showed how serious she was about it, and I think that was really good. Very personal.
Definitely.
It was very brave for her to go up and say all those things.
So then Brandon Gomer came up with his poem Rejected, that he admittedly wrote for English and entered this poetry slam for English.
He's a newbie to poetry.
But as a senior, why not do it? And he did a good job. That was obviously another emotional thing about a rejection he got from a college, I believe it was Nebraska, to play baseball.
For baseball. And I know, everybody knows how rejection feels, and I think that was a really good topic. I think that everyone can relate to that. Everybody has been rejected at some point, and I think that got a lot of snaps. Then we had Camryn McDonald with her poem Hurricane.
And we touched on that earlier, all the comparisons to hurricanes and the weather and how seasons change and how her tears would fade to mist and then nothing at all as she learned to love herself.
Yeah, I think I liked how she used her different ages to show how she progressed in what she felt. She went from 15 all the way through 16 and showed how eventually, instead of falling in love with material things, she learned to fall in love with herself, and that's another great theme that they had throughout a lot of the poems today.
And then last we had Mitch Feyerherm. He's a very smart kid, and his poem was great. I enjoyed it.
Yes, he's got great tone, and how he delivers it is just so great. And
he could command a crowd. Everybody loves Mitch, and he definitely captured attention.
He does, that's for sure. So we'll start the next rounds here pretty quick, and I don't know, I'm really looking forward to hearing it. I know there's a lot of good people coming up. Spencer Dang, who won it last year. He's part of the Louder Than a Bomb team.
Yeah, and he has been consistently good for a couple of years now, ever since he started, and people just expect a great poem from him.
Yes, him and I think Audrey Gleason. There's a couple people that I'm just really looking forward to hearing their poems. So
definitely people to watch that could very well end up in the finals.
Yes, and I'm so excited about the finals. And we do those at prom assembly in front of the whole school, and so that'll be really fun. That's my favorite part of the poetry slam.
And after all these rounds are completed, the top 10 will compete tomorrow to get those top 2 at the end of the day. And we'll come out with some really good poems. Everybody is very good at writing and performing, and I don't know, I look forward to seeing the rest.
All right, well, this has been all for Riley and I.
Somehow we did it.
High five.
Is this on? Okay. All right, everyone, are we ready for round 4? Before we get started, there's a couple things we want to talk about. First of all, we now have a leaderboard. And in first place, we have Madelyn St. Clair. Next, we have a couple thanks. And first of all, we want to give a huge thank you to Mrs. Lefevre, because 10 years ago, she was the one that had the idea for the Poetry Slam, and this will be her last year doing it as she's retiring. So if we could all turn around and give her a huge round of applause.
All right, and we also want to give a thank you to Mr. Dent and KUGR for broadcasting this live.
Want to do a quick reminder again on how we want scoring to work. You probably already have your scoreboards. We want to see as much diversity as possible, and we want to see differences between decimal points, and we only want to see 10s if it blows you away.
And remember, the points are not the point is... There we go. And first up this round, we have junior Abby Radmanesh, and she is inspired by all the other poets at Northwest. And yeah, give it up for Abby.
My poem is titled, I'm Gonna Dream. Tonight, I'm gonna dream. Not one of those storybook dreams where the princess meets a prince in a big fancy gown and then the story's over. I'm gonna dream about me. I'm gonna dream that the word reality is like perfection. It can never be reached. I'm gonna dream that fairy tales are novels that never end, forcing your mind to keep reading, to keep the story alive. Tonight, I'm gonna dream that I am free, that I am running through microscopic spaces which only I can separate. I'm gonna make butterflies swim and turtles fly. I'm gonna see the world of opportunity flash before my eyes as I open my fingers as wide as I can and embrace all the pain that I have. I will see every memory so clearly, and every wish will be washed clean. I will watch as every flower begins to whisper my old favorite song and every river dances to the beat of my heart. Tonight, I'm gonna dream that I am by my side, walking down the dirt road, me, myself, and I. Tonight, I will dream that the only sound I can hear is the elegant wind chime. And tonight, I'm gonna dream that all my mistakes were made right and all my misjudgments were made wise. Tonight, I'm gonna dream about being whipped away
to the middle of nowhere, so I can stare at the dazzling painted sky. Tonight, I'm gonna dream, the most spectacular dream, so that when I wake, I will have no concept of what is meant to be. Thank you.
Good job, Abby. Can we get the judges' scores, please? 8.4, 8.5, 9.5, 9.6, and 9.2.
All right, next up we have a senior who hopes to inspire every one of you. And welcome to the stage, Megan Clark with her poem, 17.
I am a 17-year-old girl. That pretty much says it all, right? My worries are that of most other teenage girls. My goal here is not to complain, but to make a point. To emphasize one thing that teenage girls shouldn't be worried about. For the last 5 or 6 years, I have been fighting the voice in my head, the voice that whispers, cries, shouts, that I am not good enough. I am fat. For the last 5 or 6 years, I have been lost in the swirling thoughts that scream, announce, blurt, that she is perfect. She is skinny. For the last 5 or 6 years, I have been deceived by the magazines that assure, that accuse, that claim that my size, my waist is too big. For the last 5 or 6 years, I have been told by the tags on my clothes, the tags that show, present, illustrate that I am large, I am plus size. For the last 5 or 6 years, I have been broken by the words that sting, tear, burn, that I am weak, I am helpless. For the last 5 or 6 years, I have been diseased by the images in my head that lie, insist, push, that I am bigger than I really am. But now, I have changed. I have come out of the dark. I have taken back my life, my thoughts. I told myself, I am strong. I am beautiful. I am me. And now, I am a 17-year-old teenage girl. I am strong, I am confident, and I am beautiful. And most importantly, I am me, curves and all.
Thank you so much for sharing, Megan. That was awesome. Judges, can we please have your scores? We have an 8.6, a 9.0, a 9.0, a 9.2, and a 9.4.
All right, next up is junior Elizabeth Gibson, who is new to Northwest this year, and you can expect a lot of enthusiasm up on the stage.
I think to plan what's coming next, but then what if it's left to chance? Such precision and synchronicity, or the freedom of playful foolery, whether rehearsed 1,000 times or shown for the first time tonight, still comes the rush, the thrill, the unsilenceable squeal. For now, it's all on the line. For now, this moment is mine. None can take it away. The moment now, the later memory. Mine is the moment, and mine is the stage. For now, I'm released from restraining chains. It's as simple as breathing, as easy as life. Complicated as a puzzle, as hard as hearing a lie. For in this moment, everything is mine. This moment to crash and burn or rise and shine. What if I slip? What if I fall? What if I can't remember a thing at all? Each of these and more make me a wreck, a shaking ball, a crying mess. Just the same, all of these must be shoved aside. For now, I can't risk to lose it all. For it's mine to keep, mine to prize. So I raise up my head and shove those thoughts aside, straighten my back and banish the tears and the fears. Look towards the sun. It's my time. It's begun. Feel her rays on my face, their warmth and embrace. Renewing my strength, there's not a moment to waste. I take a deep breath and then open my lips, step into the light, throw out an arm. I leap, shift, I rise. Hear the crowd, feel their eyes. For every performance, no matter the type, whether before the world or inside my mind, for every moment, no matter why, this is mine, and this is my pride.
Wonderful job, Elizabeth. Can we get the judges' scores? 8.6, 8.2, 8.9, 9.0, 9.451. Yeah.
All right, next up, we have a senior sharing their poem, Apprehension. Please give it up for Sarah Komer.
Hey guys. Alright, this is called Apprehension. Thank you. Pick away at my deadened flesh. The suns have closed their eyes. The stars have closed their eyes. I gnaw at my fingertips. I'm nervous that you see through me. Remember that night? Creak, creak, creak down the steps. Not heard, not seen. Grab the lighter. Burn the skin. The scabs peel off. Burn the pages, the memories, shot, shot, shot. One more drink, bang, 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 goes your head against the door, tuck, tuck, tuck. You in the covers, you are safe, you are mine. Nope, I'm not good enough. Slice the layers away, seal the scars with tears. The voices, I tell my mom, they told me to. Hospital curtains don't hide the light. No, I'm not bored at all. You can call me when you want to call. I love you, but I choked. Forced the food down, throw up the blue raspberry slushy. Push down your sleeves, exposure, enclosure, move over, come closer, there's too much space. I'm thrown out of the universe but anchored to earth. Haywire, yell fire, I've lost control. Too many thoughts behind my mind's steering wheel. My mind is reeling in a big one now. Go get the scale, get ready to weigh the heavy thoughts. Thump, 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 down the stairs they fall. My arms are not strong enough to hold them all. She hands me the bottle of pills. Swallow the plastic encased powder to help your brain register happiness. My teeth ache, grab a retainer. Confined in this container, the world is our trainer, the sun, staining our skin red, baking our bones, the moon of forbidden fruit. My hands smell of elixir. I need a miracle of an elixir. Sleeve stain unwashable, reading my writing illegible. Fly away hairs stand up, lick my palm, smooth them down. Stretch out my old shirts, shake off the red dirt. I blush, you flirt, the serotonin. It gnaws at my brain, the chemical it needed to drain. The wax melted, it's molded to your skin. Heat it back up. Pour it onto my lips. Kiss me before it hardens. Our lips will be sealed. I know I messed up again. Parental advisory alert. The content in my mind is explicit. My lungs are clogged with the smoke of incense. Twist, turn, rotate, revolve, revolutionize. Reaching for the ladder, a rung breaks, you fall. I pick you up. The piece is too heavy for me to carry. Time for the duct tape. I'll mend you back together. Did you know your mind was broken? The blank pages were left open. Your body stirs. It is woken. Why is this temporary? We have to wait for the next time your body dismantles itself. It won't be long now. The tape I use will start to peel, and like I promised, I'll be there for you. I'll glue you together. Never a permanent solution. Your soul tainted with pollution. You hurt. I hurt. The endless labyrinth of suffering. A hallway with broken doorknobs, wretched, inhumane sobs. But I'm your crutch. You can trust. If one falls, the other helps them plant their feet on the unstable earth. Shut up! This is my brain. Can't you tell I'm going insane? Too many thoughts. I know you see me differently. Tell me what's wrong with being weird.
Thank you, Sarah. Judges, what are our scores? We have an 8.7, a 9.6, a 9.3, a 9.6, and a 9.4.
All right, next up we have a junior who became interested in poetry last year in English class. Give it up for Thapaswini Mehendrada.
Okay. Roller coaster. Like a roller coaster going up and ending with a crescendo, we want our high school career to be the same. Climb up, up, up with hard work and plenty to show. Our resolution is to be on our high school's wall of fame. We know the ride won't be easy, but our resolution will hold strong. With hard work from all our teachers, the ride will be busy. But they will encourage us and help us to do no wrong. The ride will be full of screams, with many great friends by our side, knowing that fulfilling our dreams is the ultimate goal of our ride. This is a roller coaster of high school. Let's get ready to swoosh soon.
Awesome job, Thapaswini. Judges, 8.5, 8.8, 8.6, 8.3, and 8.4.
Next up, we have someone from the Shawnee Mission Northwest Louder Than a Bomb team, and they're super excited to share with you. So give it up for Jake Honer.
How we doing today, guys? All right. Poetry encourages the writer to express his or herself regardless of social judgment. Unleash your inner demons, flood the room with thought. Unique perspectives may bloom, and knowledge could sprout and blossom in the minds of the bystander's eye. Inner conflicts become social comments you may provide aside, entitle your own, critique the world, create a story, talk about your day, flex IQ, as long as you're talking about something. So when the recent pattern follows that heavy doses of depression and anxiety collide with teenage angst and identity crises, cyanide stories and deep dark detours into personal strife strand the audience in a sea of gloom, many a man's first thought coincides with something along the lines of, why? And I think I know why. It's because the crap kids like us get exposed to today can leave an honest soul depraved. It's easier to see why so many people are on edge when conditions presented facilitate hard entries, because you got political parties fighting for your attention, social media reminding you what you're missing out on, racial violence thought to be left in the past while ice caps melt and doom the world's future, news stations relaying only the worst in human behavior, terrorist groups beheading those opposed to religious gridlock, so the subject matter corresponds accordingly with what we see. And I'll tell you what, it's really a shame that in the process of fighting over whose story digs the deepest, we like to highlight mankind at its worst and forget to appreciate the little things. Like how a smile on somebody's face can make a day go the right way. From loose change collected on the ground and allowances when you were here to now paydays on the weekends, where sweet, sweet sleep is your rejuvenation from education and a lack of action feels perfectly natural, and a love the gas prices are knocked down. Don't think of the implications. Just be happy you can drive your crappy battered 04 Civic around to your friend's house on a Friday on a sunshine-type bright day and enjoy the honesty of good company and the camaraderie of your existence. From your origins to your location, be happy about your conception, your birth, your life, your self-worth, because human race is still alive and kicking, people, 7 billion strong, despite a couple 100,000 years, the underdog, living in the trenches of evolution. We pulled through big time, man. All right, past tribulations of saber-tooths, disasters to shelter communities, enhancements, science, religion, advancements on a planet that is stranded in isolation for billions of miles surrounding its existence, in a universe not fully comprehended by sheer size of its infiniteness, ever expanding and always demanding our attention. The odds of us happening are absolutely astounding. Yet we still perpetuate the idea that around every corner is a drowsy, downer, dumped disorder, deathly, dastardly, hectic hell on earth for order, perhaps forgetting the joy we can absorb and reflect on others. Guys, I think life can be okay sometimes.
That was incredible. Can we get the scores? We have a 10, a 10, a 10, a 10, and a 9.8.
All right. For our next poet, we have senior Jackie Ball, who thought senior year so YOLO.
Okay. I'm a little short. Okay. Maybe my mind is just not as beautiful as yours. Maybe where you have the colors of your soul painted on the inside of your skull, mine is black with the shavings for my determination to erase ink. And maybe it's Maybelline, but maybe it's the unrealistic expectations for what my generation should look like. Maybe it's the perception that to be beautiful, we shouldn't have cellulite because we get compared to airbrush perfection. We told ourselves we aren't good enough before 13. We learned geometry before being taught to accept natural beauty because that won't get you a high-paying job with financial security. We started to take pills of artificial concentration because the ACT score is the determination of what college we participate in and whether or not the measure of whether or not we can tether ball what life has to swing at us, or will the rope wrap around the pole before our hand has a chance to show what it's made of. And maybe I'm not ready to choose what I want to do for the rest of my life. I'm only 18 and just figured out that my GPA is the accumulation of my preparation. I've been in school for over half my life and I still have no idea what I'm doing. I'm exhausted. Keeping up with my thoughts, I figured out life's really not that kind. My grades are slipping like my sanity through the loosely knit fingers on my mind. I've tried to let elementary school go from where I am now. It's years behind, but I find those words were engraved into a stone before I knew it was mine. At an early age, we recite words will never hurt us. Excuse for kids to tease one another without repercussions. Little 7-year-olds crying themselves to sleep, preferring a broken leg to a broken innocence. In a sense, they just need some perseverance. We're taught not to cheat, but if life gives you lemons, write your answers in invisible ink because it's more important to pass a class than to leave with your integrity. I'm trying to not let my faith budge, but if there's one thing school has taught me, it's better to hate yourself when everybody already does.
Amazing job, Jackie. All right, judges, let's see the scores. 9.5, 9.98, 9.8, 9.7, and 9.5. So close.
All right, next up, we have a junior who expects to bring their straight fire bars to the stage with their poem, It's Time for a Change. Welcome, Chandler Bado.
Hey, Sav. My poem is about society, and if you perceive it well, you will like it, and if not, then keep it to yourself, please. Okay. It's called It's Time for a Change. I'm different from most high school students, which is to say that I can run the 800-meter distance in 2 minutes flat, circles on a track, tired treads burn orange and black, and I can hold my breath for 3 minutes back-to-back all night. Yes, many different amazing feats. I'll talk and brag about it in a 140-character tweet. Oh, wait, another man dead in the street. Now, that may seem offbeat, but how sweet this will be when I'm finished just dusting off these rusty cleats of society. To some, it's evident that we are irrelevant to society, just arrogant kids expressing their decadence to an already deficit group of individuals. But hear me out. We as a group of rugged teenagers can become beloved by others if we end the constructed labels we are so suddenly given. We are labeled as a group who loves nothing, but we can turn those frowns upside down. Because it's the year 2015, it's time to get clean. It's time to stop hating our generation, appreciate what we do for society. It's time to accept who we are, bi, trans, gay, straight, black, or whatever. It's time to show that we give a crap about others. So put on your rally caps, it's time to get busy. So calm down and take a seat and listen. Go out and help an elderly lady cross the street, help her mother wash the dishes, make them clean and neat. It's time we change. So don't be a stereotyping, drink and quiver, because I don't know about you, but I like my liver. Stand up for yourself in times of need. Shout in the hater's face until he bleeds. We are a different type of breed. We have to appreciate each other. Calling one class out on social media, that's called classless. Here's an encyclopedia. Look it up. Instead, embrace one another as equals. Stop being the evils of society. We are the people's people, the future of this country. It's time to get past the racial tensions clinging to our throats. It's time to get past the white men with slave boats. So before you take one more puff, call society's bluff. And yes, it may be rough, but in the end, you, me, and us will be loved.
Thank you, Chandler. Can we get the scores, please? We have a 9.6, a 9, a 9.1, a 9.6, and a 9.5. That is the end of this round. Can we clap for everyone that participated?
All right, and just a reminder, they are selling this year's Poetry Slam shirts for how much? $15. And last year's are $7, but this one right here is free.
Who wants a shirt? I'm sorry, I only had one. That is it. Hey, but we have jokes now, so get excited for that. You want to go first?
What rock group has 4 men that don't sing? Mount Rushmore.
So the furniture store kept calling me to come back, but all I wanted was one night stand.
I saw a kidnapping yesterday, but I didn't want to wake him up.
Okay, what is the worst thing about throwing a party in space? You have to plan it.
Oh, here's a good one. Why are there no knock-knock jokes about America? Because freedom rings.
It's not on. Is it on? Is it on? Is it on? It is on? Okay, we have a couple more thank yous before we get started. First, ETSA, as always. First, we want to thank the Shawnee Mission District crew, or video crew, for helping with equipment and the live streaming. And shout out to anyone that's watching at home or any of that. Hey.
And we're just going to explain how, the finals will be tomorrow. So today's scores will be meshed with tomorrow's to determine the top 10. And then in 7th hour tomorrow, the top 10 will perform again. And the top 2 there will perform at the prom assembly to determine the final slampion. And that will be determined by an applausometer.
On that note, our first poet of the round is a senior performing Survive the Day. Welcome to the stage, Taylor Minnick.
Hello. Before I read this, I just want to say this was dedicated to my 4th hour class, Creative Writing. I first read it there, and it's also to my family, and now it is for all you as well. So here's Survive the Day. Sometimes I feel like all I do is complain, but dang man, life has me down in round 4, but I still have one more round to go. Yeah, sure, some nights you just want to end it all, but then you think for just a split second and see that there's no need to bleed, no need to hurt, no need to die, but instead a need to live. So pick up your head and look for the sky for the new life. Maybe you'll have to lie today and say that tomorrow will be brighter, even if you know that it'll be dark until days to come. But someday, maybe, just maybe, if you survived, you can look back up to that sky with a different set of eyes and say that I'm glad I survived the day. Sure, that day isn't today. Maybe you just want to end it all. But think, what if you made it to another day? Another opportunity to change anything and everything that you want to. Another chance to be who you want to be, not what you're forced to be. This life is yours for the taking, so don't waste it. So sure, life has me down in round 4, but I'm not going down. No, I'll pick myself back up and keep on swinging as long as I'm living. And someday, I'll look back up at that sky with a new set of eyes and say, I'm truly glad I survived the day.
Thank you, Taylor. Can we get the scores, judges? We have a 10, a 9.7, an 8.3, a 9.0, and a 9.75.
All right, and our next poet is a senior who wants to do as much as he can for his senior year. So please welcome to the stage Chandler Finstad with the Blue Star.
It sure is a lot taller up here. I found myself lost in a forest so dark, no light slipping in as a guiding mark. I wandered through, escape and freedom I did pursue. After many hours, at last I saw a light. Shining through the trees, I continued with renewed fight. Until at last I came to a clearing. I sat down in peace, surrounded by all I was fearing. Then I looked up and saw the stars shining in the night. They were endless yet confined, all shining the same light, the same white. Until my eyes lingered on one that stood out, a brilliant blue compelling me to shout. I was enthralled by the star so different from the others. I developed strong feelings like those of lovers. And I asked myself, why is the star blue? I asked the star, what's special about you? I waited in silence, but an answer neither I nor it gave. The star had captured me, and I was its slave. But the star held beneath its honesty hidden lies, as now that calm blue star flared intensely bright, hurting my eyes. I looked away in both fear and pain. The star had calmed me, and my trust it did gain. After earning my trust, it now hurt me so. Why does the star behave in such a way I may never know? So I turned my eyes back to the stars of white, hoping for something better to come within sight. But my mind went back to that brilliant blue. Had it turned back to normal, my curiosity grew. And so at last I took one daring look and was surprised to see once again it shined calmly. It was as if it had not flared so bright, as if it had given me no fright. So I grew close again, and it felt great, like a wind. But then the wind blew a cloud between me and the star, which could no longer be seen. And within me came envy of a simple cloud, such a silly feeling for someone so proud. I felt such anger at this cloud, which I wholly resent, but for losing sight of the star, I feel sadness and lament. Yet at last the cloud drifted away, and there was the star shining, as if to say, I am still here. As time wore on, the star flared twice more. I turned away, but for only a short time I was able to ignore. And then the winds began to shift in some sort of cruel game, pushing the cloud between us always the same. I stopped to think and ask myself, is it really worth the effort to continue gazing upon the star, but by its flares and the winds be hurt? For it was nearing sunrise, and I had to decide, continue the cycle of happiness and hate, or let the star be denied. I thought hard about the risk of not seeing the star ever again, and after careful thought, decided to soak it all in. I will make the most of this time with this star so sublime. For the last few hours, I will admire its shine.
Great job, Chandler. Judges' scores? 10. Anyone else? 9.2, 8.7, 9.8, and 9 point, is that a 4? 9.4.
Next up, we have another member of the Louder Than a Bomb team and someone who made it to finals last year, performing Queen Bee. Please give it up for Audrey Gleason.
Yes, let's go, Audrey.
Got it on.
Sorry, I'm just getting myself adjusted here. Is this a good spot? Question mark. Oh, maybe bring it up a little bit. Good. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a king who had 2 twin princess daughters. They were best friends. Princess Juliet was perfect. Princess Alexandra was cursed. She carried around envious ivy vines and was strangled by the idea that her sister was more talented, beautiful, intelligent, put together, happy, and worthy of it. Her hands were cursed, and she had to pull the vines around her neck and pull until she couldn't breathe, with the leaves whispering better as they crawled across her skin and ooze out poison. Princess Juliet's heart breaks whenever A's face turns blue, but there was nothing they could do. The curse was more powerful than either one of them, even when they were together. Alexandra tried, because people would say the key to unlocking the spell's misfortune was inside her heart. Juliet brought flashlights and magnifying glasses. They tried to reverse it, but the glass shattered from Alexandra's screams every time. This isn't Disney. If I could let it go, I would, but this is real. This is water. David Foster, where are you? Mr. Gibbons, it's so hard. There's this black box. I'm trapped inside, and the walls press in, and I can't find oxygen. Where are you? Haley Nugent. I'm in quicksand, and my legs are too heavy to run out of it. My neck has bruises where the green has pressed, and look, it's coming. It's coming 24/7. Upon a time, there was a king who wanted his daughter to see how much she meant to him, but the daughter just kept seeing her happy sister with her happy prince and their happy hearts. There was a king who wanted his daughter to hear him say he loved her and how much he needed her to keep trying, but the daughter kept hearing her sister's laughter, which sprinkled like bells throughout the kingdom and warmed Alexandra's heart even as it awakened the vines. But Alexandra never hated that laugh or that smile. She never hated that prince or those legs or those spirit. She hated the vines, and she hated herself. She lived in the kingdom, but her address was rock bottom. I'm so sorry. I can feel the bones in my chest, and I want them to break because I hate that I do this to you. Do you people understand that even after I say all this, she'll tell me she doesn't regret me? And when I ask her if we're still best friends, she'll say always. I want to die so many times when these vines are making oxygen hard to get to. I want to pull them all the way. It's a paradox. I'm a parasite in this glimmering twilight. Everyone says a new day is coming, but it will never change. Don't you all remember that you won't change me? I love her. I love her so much that I don't have any love left for me. Once upon a time, there was a king who had 2 twin daughters. One became queen, but the other couldn't breathe.
Audrey, thank you so much. Judges, can we get the scores? We have a 9.9, a 9.6, a 9.8, a 9.7, and a 10.
All right, next up we have junior Lauren Paccapaniccia. This is her 3rd year in the slam, and her poem is titled Bittersweet Suicide.
This is dedicated to Katie. This is dedicated to Katie. I hear it yelling at me as it passes by, and I can see the leap of faith that muted that precious life. I run through the process, sprinting through the trees. My mind forfeits and stares down in the well, and I sink back to the face that I plastered so well. Her eyes crystallized shut as she lay swollen. So much was said, and no one questions as we looked at the smile for reassurance. But it takes 26 to smile and 62 to frown. Too tired to create that face and too broken to make that sound. Too crushed to breathe it in as fate pushed her into the ground. Think of happy things, they say, but it's hard when you're drowning and weak. Falling is such a simple idea, but flying is such a steep sweep. I heard my sweet voice. She was gone. She was done. I knew she didn't wake that morning knowing that that day would be her last, and I know she was drowning in sorrow, and I know that we have to be here continuing her music, for it must outlast depression, and we must scream at anxiety, but I could not help her voice. And I lay in bed listening to that thing as it yells going by, sprinting. And I plead, why, if you couldn't scream at the anxiety, if your strength was so worn, if your wound was so deep, why did you not just scream at me and we could heal together and we could bleed along with one another and lean on me, he said, and how he was wise. And now we awake every dawn and fall asleep at dusk, wondering what we could have done and why we were so blind and we could not see through the transparent glass. And I beg of you to just scream at me one last time. Your voice is silent now, and you left so suddenly, and your memories are evergreen, and mine, they will surely outlast, and I do not blame you for becoming mute, sweet one, as I ventured on that branch too, but oh, how I wish you screamed at me, and I'd find your voice again, and muted not you would be, and I cannot express how much I miss you, the sunshine in the dark, the moonlight in the sky, the stars that we wish on, holding our dreams up so high, the mask we put on, you saw right through it, helping all of us was simple for you, and everyone else got their glass filled first, and yours just sat there empty. When they asked you for more, you'd politely declined. I wish opened up the blinds. Everyone first and you were last, but your life lives on even if the memories are in the past. And you wanted us to see that happy smile, and you didn't want us to worry because you'd carry us a mile. And if you feel that you no longer want to live, the best advice I can give is to live on and live loud, and to fight for her is to fight for life. And please, if you're struggling, just scream at us with all of your might. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. That was awesome. Judges, can we see the scores? 10, 8.9, 10, 9.8, and 9.4.
All right, next up, we have a senior inspired by her friend. Give it up for Lorila Rama with Let You Go.
All right, this is the story of my life, and I made it a poem. It was cold and windy, a November day, when my friend Danny sadly passed away. A true rock, a shoulder in which I could rely for whenever I was angry or when I needed to cry. After my dad, that's the second man I knew, but when I saw you in the hospital bed, Danny, your feet were turning so blue. There was no chance, the doctor would say. No matter what we could do, we could not make him stay. The time I asked my mama, will tears ever dry? I wiped my eyes, but I still cry. I was told in time, but I don't think so. I was such a kid, Danny. I was not ready to let you go. The next 2 days slowly drifted by. All that I could do was hold your hand and cry. I love you, Danny, and I miss you so, more than you'll ever know, but as much as this hurts me, I'm letting you go.
Lori, that was a beautiful poem. Judges, can we please get your scores? We have a 10, a 9.4, an 8.7, a 9.3, and a 9.3.
All right, and next up we have senior Amy Justice, who designed the shirts for this year's slam, and she is saying that you can expect her to bring self-respect to the stage. Words.
So the poem's called There's Still a Need. Don't disappear from my mind. Hold on, just hold on, wait maybe a second or two. I don't know what you need, but just cherish the peace that you see around you. It's like something to help with the weight and condense life down to its simplicities and a joy of madness. 'Cause hear the screams, hear the pain that comes from a loss of meaning in their words. Words like I love you, I'm sorry, I forgive you, forever and never again. The loss of meaning comes from people's lack of ability to understand. Thinking that love is simple and forever is as long as you want it to be, and never is only until the chance presents itself again. But no, see how you help? Your purpose isn't done here. Love needs a braveness. Love needs a maturity to understand that it won't always be understood and that it won't always agree. Forever is just like that. It needs to be understood before it's used, before they get hurt. You hurt. You carry so much. And no, it's not your fault. It's out of your control. But see the smiles, see the relief, see the relaxedness. That's what you cause. See the smiles. See how your stubbornness and your acceptingness, it radiates off you like sunlight that heats up little kids' cheeks and cold toes after a terrible, terrible winter. That smile and that ability to forget. See how it's needed like water or oxygen. They need you out there in the battle against those who think that they're always judging every chance they get. Just stay for the battles. Stay and rise against the voices telling you that you're not needed. Heroes and warriors are made by maybe just watching one person stand up and protect others. So don't go. Not yet. Not today. Not until everyone's souls are at rest.
Thank you, Amy. That was wonderful. Judges' scores: 9.6, 8.6, 8.9, 8.9, and a 9.2.
All right, for our last participant of the day, we have someone from the Louder Than a Bomb team, a finalist from last year, the much anticipated Spencer Dang.
Hey, what's up? I'm gonna tell a joke so I don't get too nervous first. Okay, so Why did the vampire not like the taste of blood? Why? It was too irony. Okay. All right, I got this. Exiting your mother's birth canal is a painful experience for everyone. So when the doctor beats your baby bottom, poop on his hands and tell him you made it. You waited and you made it, and you deserve a better introduction to life than this. Thankfully, you won't remember anything until the age of 5. That summer when the neighborhood pool invited you over for a drink and you stayed until the water filled your lungs like a balloon. Then you floated to the bottom like a feather in free fall. This is how you learned to drown. But you made it. You were a second-grade survivor, stumbling stranded on sandy asphalt of spring recess. You crawled out of wood chips with scraped knees like everyone else except you were an island, watching fleets of best friends sail by like a school bus you overslept, only you weren't tired. You were a pariah, sacrificed to the ocean because you were wet blanket drenched in nothing that came from the sea, so you learned to swim on your own. You built a home in the silence of yourself, held on to whatever driftwood friends you could find, and everything was pretty much okay. Being alone was the only time you understood everything that happened, which is to say, not much at all. This is how you learned to stand on the shore, and you made it. Then puberty happened, and you were no longer conscious of your body. Like a blade of grass, you began to hide in plain sight. You never wanted to be seen, a self-conscious, confused teen, unless it was by her. Capital H, her. It is said you never forget your first love because for the first time, breaking through your innocent walls, somebody wanted to understand you. Capital H, her. You tucked your innocence under the welcome mat, invited your curiosity in. You played with the fire of emotions, burned your house down, drowned in the ashes that soon smothered you, found another you, and promised it would never happen again. Never again, not like that, not like that, not like that. Capital H, her. This is how you learn to burn until you've forgotten who you are, and you made it. You silly survivor of 17 years, you made it. You stuck it to the doctor. You swam to shore all by yourself. You soothed the wounds you swore would hurt you till the day you died. You made it. So stop living your life like an apology that's already been given. Scream your grievances to the mirror. What happened, happened. Remind yourself you deserve better than this. And start living again. Start swimming again. The ships will set sail again on that ocean of understanding. And all you have to do is make it.
Oh, dang. Oh, dang.
All right, we got a 10, a 10, a 10, a 10, and a 10.
All right, so a couple of things. If you take a look at the leaderboard over here, that will be updated by the beginning of tomorrow.
And then lastly, before we all send you back to your favorite place, being your English class, we have a couple more things, or we just want to, again, thank everyone that helped out today and made this possible. And lastly, if we could give a huge round of applause to the person that organized this and planned it all in Mrs. Pa. All right, thank you all, and we hope to see you tomorrow.
Good afternoon, Northwest.
I'm David Bonham.
And I'm Brooke Nelson.
And we're here live on the Poetry Slam set. We just finished rounds 4 and 5, and that'll wrap it up for day 1. First poem of round 4 was Abby Radmanesh's I'm in a Dream. I really like this poem because it was kind of like, she's saying, you know, everyone kind of, there's like that stereotype of a dream, but she's having her own dream where she's free running, she's never ending, you know, possibilities are limitless. She said, quote, butterflies will swim and turtles will fly.
It's really just about following your dreams and making sure that you have confidence to do what you need to do in your life. She got some pretty good scores for that, some in the 9s, some in the 8s. So it was a good poem, good performance.
It was very good, very good.
Next we had Megan Clark with her poem 17. It was mostly about body image and society's discussion of how you're never good enough. You see these models, you're never good enough, but she wants to make sure that people love themselves and love their curves and how their body is just the way it is.
And it was very cool because she was, you know, kind of coming to terms with herself. She's like, I'm this person,
and I'm not going to change who I am because of someone else's standards, and I thought that was really cool.
Especially as a 17-year-old girl, which is why her poem is titled that way. We're supposed to have these thoughts about ourselves,
Yeah.
and she's kind of just breaking out of that mold.
Mhm.
And it was just a really awesome poem, really inspiring, I thought.
Yeah, it's talking about tags, like setting how much you should weigh, all that. Words that sting, tear, and harm, images that lie, all sorts of stuff. Very good poem. And then we have Liz Gibson's My Pride poem, which was all about, you know, this moment is mine. I'm going to kind of seize the day.
She's a new student at Northwest this year, and which is surprising to me because she didn't seem nervous at all. She had an awesome performance. She was great, had great acting, was very enthusiastic, which we didn't see in all of the poems today, and so I thought it was really awesome. It was all about being courageous, so I thought it was good. She actually had rhyming, which we don't see in all of these poems since they're spoken word, but I liked the rhyming. So.
Yeah, it was a lot of, the rhyming. All the other poems so far today have been kind of a free verse sort of thing, but hers was very, you know, like in a very set system of rhyming, so that was kind of cool.
Then the next one we had was by Sarah Komer. Hers was entitled Apprehension. One of the first things I noticed in her poem was all the onomatopoeia that she used.
Yeah,
the thump,
the
thump,
door
thump,
slamming.
bump, 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 which I thought was good. She had really good acting in hers, really great performance. She got some pretty good scores too, some high 9s up in there. It's mostly about her life and suffering, but also helping someone out through their life suffering through her experiences.
Yeah, and you know, with all these poets coming out and saying this sort of stuff is really difficult. So it's, I mean, I have automatic respect for every poet who enters this because it takes a lot of guts to come out here and say this stuff in front of everyone. So
she ended that poem with "What's wrong with being weird," which I think kind of speaks to everyone who is not confident in their personality, but she is validating that it's okay to be how you want to be. So
yeah, and talking about, you know, just listing what people would call flaws, and she's just basically saying, this is who I am. I'm not a textbook teenager.
And that's okay.
Yeah, so it's very cool. And then we had next Thapaswini Mehendrada's poem, Roller Coaster, which I thought was a great intervention from kind of from the like trauma of today. Like we had some very serious poems, and then this kind of roller coaster thing. It was short, but it was sweet, and it kind of just talked about, you know, high school will have its ups and its downs, but that's just how it goes for everyone.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
And her scores didn't really reflect how good I thought the poem was. She just got in the 8s, but I think she definitely deserved some 9s. Really good poem.
That was good.
Next we had Jay Koner, who is part of the Louder Than a Bomb team. His scores were awesome. He got almost all 10s. His was mostly just about society's effect on teens today. And it was nice because it was a very positive poem, really uplifting to the audience and telling them that no matter what society tells you, you can do whatever you want to do.
And Jake's a part of the Louder Than a Bomb team, I know. So it doesn't surprise me that he got such good scores. He's really good at coming up here, giving a good performance. You could feel the emotion in his voice. It was very cool. He definitely deserved the scores he got.
His performance was extremely passionate. You could tell he really believed in what he was saying.
Yes.
And it had a lot of current events in it, like ISIS and climate change, which helped bring the poem, make it more valid.
Yeah, and it really reminded me a lot of last year. Sam Gross gave a poem that was similar to, like, I think it was called Desensitized, where he talked about how we see all this crap on the media about, you know, like, it shows all the negative things, and we get used to that, when really life isn't about that at all. There's a lot more positive things in life than we are led to believe.
And really how the media just focuses on the negative things and what's going to get them the best ratings when there already are a lot of small things happening that we should really appreciate.
He just says at the end, just be happy with what you have, and you know, he said something about a crappy 04 car to your friend's house on the weekends.
Yeah, that was really relatable.
Yeah. So that was round 4.
No, we still.
Is there
Next
one more?
was Jackie Ball.
Jackie's.
Her poem was Titleist. She got some really good scores for that in the high 9s. Hers was just about the unrealistic expectations of society and kind of how we're supposed to know what we're doing for our careers, but we're only teenagers.
Yeah, where we're thrown into a world that expects so much of us, and we don't really know what to do with it. But she's saying, pills for ACT scores. She said, quote, grades are slipping like my sanity. Just, we have too much in our lives to deal with that we know how to deal with, so.
And it was surprising that this was her first time in the slam because
yeah, she's really
she just
good.
delivered an awesome performance that I think really spoke to everyone and was really relatable.
Yeah, and I think like seeing a lot of these poets in previous slams really inspired a lot of people to come up here. Like several people have dedicated these poems to us, encouraging them to come up here and share their feelings with everyone.
Yep. The next poem was by Chandler Bado. It was called It's Time for a Change. He got some good scores and all in the 9s. His was also about society and how you don't need to complain about all the negative things. He said he opened it up and prefaced it with, if you don't like society, then keep it to yourself, which I thought was kind of funny because a lot of the poems today were talking about the negative sides of society. But he was talking about how we can change society's views of our generation, how everyone thinks we're all these lazy people obsessed with technology.
Prove them wrong, sort of, yeah. So, and then he was very proud of his Kendrick Lamar reference, white men with slave boats. Just wanted to throw that out there. And like Brooke said, we can become constructive. We're not like permanently in this mold. We can break out of it. So it was a very, very optimistic poem.
So that was it for round 4, and then we went on to round 5, which started out with Taylor Minnick. He got even a 10 in his score. His poem was entitled Survive the Day, which he dedicated to his 4th hour class of creative writing and also his family, which I thought was really cool.
And I don't know if they meant to do this, but it seemed like the way they planned who was going to go, it was like they planned it so that the mood shifts. So you don't have like a long, just like hard to listen to series of like really depressing poems. You'd have like a break with like a happy poem here and there, and his was pretty optimistic.
Yeah.
It was cool. He came out and said to dedicate it to his 4th hour creative writing class, his family, friends.
And he used the metaphor of boxing. I know he talked about being in the 4th round, which I thought was a cool new twist. And it was short, but it was definitely good poem, good performance for sure.
Oh yeah.
Just about how you can make a difference and to never stop fighting. So.
And this next one was by Chandler Finstad, and it was called The Blue Star. And this was like probably the heaviest use of symbolism and metaphor I've heard all day. I'm not really sure if this was like a friend or a significant other, but it was just like he really threw it in with the word choice he used, calling his blue star, it would shine, give him hope, his light in the darkness sort of thing.
Yeah.
It was unknown why like the star was different, and that's what stood out to him, is the difference in the star.
It was just so well written. It had really great rhyme scheme. The whole thing had awesome word choice, just like really elevated language that was really easy to listen to and pay attention to because it was so different from anything that we had heard today.
Right.
And he got some good scores from that all over the board, really.
I especially liked when he like talked about the cloud. Like that was pretty cool because we can all relate to jealousy with people we love, and the cloud came between him and the star and caused envy, and that was pretty cool. So he said at the end, I will make the most of this time with the star so sublime, just kind of to sum it up there.
Really good. The next one was by Audrey Gleason, who was another member of the Louder Than a Bomb team. She got all in the 9s and even a 10 for her scores. It was entitled Queen Bee, and she started out with, it's about a king with 2 daughters, and it was really good. The whole thing was mostly about envy and having jealousy towards another person and like just wanting to have the qualities that they have.
Right. She talked about like vines, strangling her, one of the princesses, which was obviously a metaphor, and that was just really cool. The way she took kind of like a story and turned it into relatability, like a relatable story for us in real life. It was very cool.
You could tell this was definitely about her experiences in life, and her performance was awesome. She was just so
the
passionate.
Emotion, I wrote down here, the emotion was amazing, all caps, because it really was, like you could feel the way she felt while she was delivering, and that was just a really cool feeling to have.
It was really different from the other poems that I've heard of Audrey in past years and in louder than a bomb things. So
Yeah, it was just, normally I can't like relate to many of these poems, but that one seemed very relatable because we all had envy with our friend's happiness or something that our friend has that we don't have, sort of. All right, so this next one was by Lauren Paccapaniccia, and it was called Bittersweet Suicide. And she told me before she went on that this was for her friend Katie, and she told everyone when she came on, but her friend Katie, who has passed away, she passed away this fall, and I could tell it was really hard for her to come out and say this, but she did an excellent job. I was very proud of her. She just did a really good job of capturing how she felt, talking about the masks that they had to put on with how sad they were. It was a very heart-wrenching poem.
She wanted to tell people that they could always say something if they were in need, that death isn't the last thing. There's always more.
Yeah, it was very good.
The next poem was by Lorila Rama, who is actually a foreign exchange student from Kosovo. Her poem was entitled Let You Go, which was dedicated to her friend Danny, who also passed away. You could tell she was very passionate about this poem, and she just really wanted to express her feelings about the passing of her friend Danny. I thought it was really good. She got some good scores too.
Yeah, it was very cool. And I know last year we had a student, I think he was from Sweden, do you remember? And he came out and did just a little poem that was just kind of a lighthearted thing about Thanksgiving. But it's really cool to see someone who isn't used to maybe the culture we have here come out and take part in
and
what we do
especially
here.
writing it such a good poem in English, which I am assuming isn't her native language in Kosovo, so it was really good.
Yeah. So then this next one was by Amy Justice, and it was called There's Still a Me. And I thought it was very impressive because it seemed kind of hard for Amy to talk about this subject, but she did a very good job with her poem, talking about someone she loved. She was saying, don't disappear from my mind, kind of talking about life being a battle and that they needed to fight together, sticking together and fighting through this battle, which I thought was very cool.
Even though she seemed nervous, she did a really good job, and I think everyone was really proud of her for expressing those feelings that she had. And then finally, we had Spencer Dang, who is also a member of the Louder Than a Bomb team. He was the first poet today with all 10s. His poem was awesome.
Yeah, definitely earned it.
We'll definitely see him in the finals tomorrow with his perfect score. He also started it out with a joke, which was kind of a good way to start out his poem because it was a bit of a heavier poem.
Yeah, and it wasn't that bad of a joke either. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a pretty good joke. So this is his last year performing. I think that he definitely went out with a bang. It was a really awesome poem, and he always brings a great performance. It was kind of just about learning from your mistakes and just you can make it,
Yeah, he like Audrey, he just really brings the fire. You can feel it. He's tense and just right in your face with his poetry. Yeah. It's very cool, and he works very hard on his poetry. I know he was telling me that he will stay up late just writing poetry. It's a pretty
I saw him
big
off to
passion
the
of
side
his.
practicing right before
he takes it
went
really
on,
seriously, and it pays off.
And everyone seemed to love the poem. There were so many snaps happening during the poem, and it was just all about how you can't change the past, just live in the moment. And I thought it was a really awesome poem.
And how we kind of we make who we are with our decisions in our childhood or in our past, like you were saying. Learning to swim on your own. He used that analogy a lot of being thrown into an ocean and just kind of growing up, the struggles there. He talked about hitting puberty there and then finding love. It was pretty cool.
So that's all we had for today.
Yep. Thanks for tuning
Tomorrow,
in, guys.
Finals are 7th hour, and we have all of the poems before that during 5th and 6th.
Yep.
So it's going to be an awesome day of poetry. Thanks for watching.
All right.